Business Today. I am Siddharth Zarabi and you're watching Easynomics. On today's episode, I share with you the details of what's happening on India's Tryst with high-speed mobile broadband. That's right, fifth generation mobile services. Now, if you have heard of 4G and you are using 4G obviously, and you must have heard a lot about 5G, there's an auction that's going on. Currently, it's an electronic auction, and 2 days of that auction have concluded, and at the end of those 2 days, bids worth nearly 1,50,000 crore have been put in by the bidders. Who are the bidders? Reliance Jio, Bharti Airtel, Vodafone Idea, and another company called Adani Data Networks. Let me clarify, that company is not a mobile phone service provider. It's a company that is bidding for a certain kind of spectrum, and it does not have a license to offer mobile services. So the real battle is between three companies, Jio, Airtel and Vodafone Idea, and to varying degrees. Jio is obviously the biggest bidder and by various reports has bid for a significant chunk of spectrum, and the government and sources are saying that 700 megahertz, which is like really valuable spectrum, has also seen aggressive bids. The government, the Telecom Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, has announced that the auction is now spilling over to the third day, and it's most likely that it will conclude on the third day because a bulk of the bidding is more or less over. There isn't too much of competition, more than enough spectrum was on offer, and this 1,50,000 crore is likely to increase a little bit further. But let's move away from the financial bids and talk about what it means, what this auction means for the availability of 5G mobile broadband services. Now, as we all know, 5G mobility will give you much higher speeds than you currently enjoy. So think of it this way, that if whatever speed you get on your current 4G connection from whichever service provider, whatever tariff plan that you have, whatever data pack that you use, 5G is going to be at least 3 times faster. And in good network areas and with good network design and planning, operators can offer even 5 times current 4G speeds. Now that is really fast. But what do you do with fast bandwidth? What is more important is the quality of bandwidth. And that is a problem when we see networks inside buildings and outside buildings, on highways. We see various problems in network quality, and that is why 5G needs to be basically understood as something that is a layer above 4G. So think of a house with a ground floor, what is called a first floor, a second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and if you have to offer 5G services, the network needs to have a fourth floor. Without 4G, a network operator cannot offer 5G services because having the 4G at the core is essential. So for all these operators moving from 4G to 5G, they have acquired the spectrum. They will now add some more equipment that is required and be in a position to offer much faster bandwidth. This faster bandwidth is obviously going to also come at a cost. Nothing is free, and the days when we saw too much competition in telecom and everything being free have long gone. And if the sector is not viable, then you will also not get good quality services. So keeping that in mind, the real significance of the 5G spectrum auction is that you now have certainty of what will happen next. And what will happen next is that After the spectrum is made available to the companies, the formalities will get over in a few days. The companies have already started work on network design. They have in the process of procuring equipment. The installation phase will happen, and I personally expect that you could have services, at least some sort of initial services in some select circles, perhaps Delhi, Mumbai to start with, along with some other prominent locations, within a matter of weeks and months, maybe September, October, November, and definitely by the year end, you will have some amount of 5G signals available. At the network end, while the operators have acquired spectrum and they will roll out their networks, you as the customer will also need to upgrade your handset to a 5G handset. So task number 1 for you, our viewers, I would recommend, please go ahead and check your phone. Have you purchased a phone in the recent past? And was that specifically 5G enabled? You're sorted. If you haven't, then this is the right time to look at upgrading your handset, basically buying a new one, because operators here don't offer handsets along with the network bundle, but to get 5G handsets. And once you have 5G handsets, then will be the whole experience of using 5G. Will it just be faster bandwidth? Because beyond a point, fast bandwidth doesn't really mean something. If you have a certain amount of speed, what do you do with that speed? And that will be where a lot of applications will eventually get created, because 5G, unlike just access network, 5G is also going to be about devices communicating with other devices. 5G enabled devices will lead to significant and rapid lifestyle changes. It will take time for it to proliferate, but experience around the world wherever 5G services have started leads us to believe that a lot of machine to machine communication, device to device communication, systems talking to each other will happen on 5G, and that is going to lead to a vast improvement in the kind and quality of communication services that you enjoy. Of course, it's going to cost you more. And as I wrap up this basic update on India's tryst with 5G and where it stands, the auction will continue for the 3rd day. Perhaps much of the bidding has happened, only a few percent is still left. What is more important, alongside this, is another step by the Government of India which has been announced, which is to put in place a revival package for Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, which is the state-owned operator, and that financial revival package, alongside the merger of a smaller company which was supposed to do broadband and 4G services for Bharat Sanchar, that cost has been pegged at 1,64,000 crore. But what it means is that there will be one government-owned operator which will also now offer significant amount of 4G capability, and on top of that ultimately also offer you 5G. So the overall availability of 5G and the competitive landscape is going to improve in the years ahead, and we will see a robust mobile broadband 5G ecosystem evolving in India. And what is also a matter of pride is that equipment, significant parts of it will be Indian made, they will be Swadeshi, and that I think will add to the overall experience. That's it for now on the 5G spectrum auction. I'll come back with more details as the auction progresses, and once we have a final picture of who bid what and who got what part of the spectrum and what that means for you and me as the consumer. Till then, goodbye. Do like, share and subscribe to Business Today on